You wash your clothes to feel clean, but what if, without realizing it, you've been washing your energy down the drain? Most people think laundry is harmless, just a routine chore. But what if doing it at the wrong time in the wrong way is the very reason your days feel heavy, your mood stagnant, and luck slips quietly away? Picture this, it's late evening. You finally have a moment to breathe. You load the washer while the house is quiet, thinking you're being productive. But the next morning, you wake up groggy, disconnected, and strangely unmotivated. Nothing seems wrong, but nothing feels right either. Could it be that your clothes, those freshly cleaned layers against your skin, are carrying the residue of poor timing and stuck energy? In Feng Shui, water, fabric, scent, and movement all speak to the invisible field around you. So why do we treat laundry like it doesn't matter, when it's the one task that touches our body every single day? What if your energy doesn't feel clear not because of what you've done wrong, but because of what you've never noticed? In this video, we'll uncover 10 common laundry mistakes that most people never question, but that might be slowly draining your prosperity, clarity, and vitality. By the end, you'll not only know what to avoid, you'll know how to reclaim your energy through one of the most overlooked rituals in your home. Section 1. Washing clothes when energy is too low. You think you're being productive, getting things done, clearing tasks before bed. But what if washing clothes after sunset is quietly draining more than your water bill? It feels harmless. You finally get a break from your busy day, toss a load into the washer, maybe scroll your phone, maybe clean the kitchen while it runs. You're not hurting anyone. You're staying on top of life. But then the next morning hits differently. You wake up groggy, disconnected, like your mind is covered in fog you can't name. You can't focus. Coffee doesn't help. There's no crisis, just a quiet sense that something inside you is out of rhythm. In Feng Shui, energy is not random. It flows in cycles, just like nature. And your actions either move with it or against it. The evening, especially after 5 p.m., marks a natural descent in the Kai of the day. As the sun lowers, Yang energy fades and Yin energy begins to rise, calm, inward, heavy. This shift isn't symbolic, it's felt. Your body slows, your thoughts soften, and your space begins to dim, not just in light, but in frequency. To activate energy during this time, especially using water, motion, and friction, is to fight that rhythm. And laundry, though physical, is a deeply energetic act. It involves your clothes, your second skin, objects that carry your essence, your stress, your emotions from everything you've moved through. When you wash them in hours ruled by yin, you're not just failing to cleanse them fully, you're embedding them with stagnation. What does that mean in real life? It means even your clean clothes feel off. You put them on and your shoulders feel heavy. You don't know why. You walk into your day with the subtle sense that your energy isn't sharp. People around you seem more reactive. Conversations misfire, your motivation drops. Over time, you might feel like you're always 2 steps behind, like you're doing everything right but still not getting ahead. That's the quiet cost of moving against the flow. Laundry done after sunset carries this unintended weight. And it builds, especially if your environment is already enclosed, poorly ventilated, or dim. Feng Shui sees such conditions as amplifiers of yin density, space that holds onto what should be let go. So even if your clothes are washed with the best detergent, dried with the softest towels, their energy field remains unlifted, like trying to cleanse your body with murky water. But this isn't about fear, it's about alignment. The simplest shift is often the most powerful. Move your laundry to earlier in the day. If possible, wash between 6 a.m. and noon when yang energy is rising or peaking. Morning sun, natural circulation, and a clearer mental state all support cleansing at every level: physical, emotional, energetic. If your schedule only allows late washing, turn it into a still, gentle ritual. Open a window, light a soft candle, stay present with the process. Avoid blasting noise, bright screens, or stress-filled distractions during the wash. Treat the moment as a reset, not just a routine. Because every action we take carries a message, and laundry done at the right time whispers to your energy field, "I'm ready to let go of what no longer serves." Done at the wrong time, it says the opposite. "I'm not listening to what my life is asking." Which one will you choose to live by? So now ask yourself, not with guilt but with honesty, when was the last time you felt truly refreshed after doing laundry? Not just with clean clothes in your hands, but a lightness in your chest, a sense of being unburdened. Perhaps it wasn't the task that failed, but the timing that robbed it of power. Because in Feng Shui, it's not only what you do, it's when you do it that changes everything. Section 2. Skipping the power of morning light. You may think that sunlight is just for drying clothes, but in Feng Shui, sunlight is life force itself. And yet many people do laundry with no thought for when or where their clothes receive light. They wash them with care, but then hang them in the darkest corners of the house, on the back of a door, over the edge of a chair, inside a windowless bathroom, or worse, leave them crumpled in a basket, waiting to dry later. It seems convenient. It's what works in the moment, but what's often missed is this: you've cleansed the surface, but not the soul of the fabric. In Feng Shui, morning sunlight is the purest form of yang energy. It's vibrant, rising, expansive, the very energy associated with growth, prosperity, and fresh beginnings. When clothes are dried under this kind of light, they don't just lose moisture, they absorb clarity. They're infused with the same uplifting frequency that stirs birds to sing, flowers to bloom, and minds to awaken. The morning sun doesn't just touch your clothing, it charges it. Just as plants lean toward the light to thrive, so too does the subtle energy in your garments need sunlight to be fully reborn after washing. On the other hand, when laundry is kept in damp, dark, or closed environments, rooms without airflow, corners without circulation, it becomes a magnet for yin stagnation. In Feng Shui, yin energy in excess is not bad, but it is inward, heavy, and still. And when your freshly laundered clothes absorb that energy, they carry it back to your body. You may feel sluggish, emotionally dim, or oddly uninspired. You may not even realize why your mood feels off. But your energy field is in contact all day with something that should have been vitalizing, and instead it's draining. This isn't mystical, it's environmental. Imagine drinking water that had been sitting in a sealed jar for days versus sipping from a clear, flowing spring. That's the difference light makes. One is technically clean, the other is alive. More than just mood, this small habit can ripple out to affect your productivity, clarity, and motivation. You might feel like the day never quite lifts. Your thoughts stall. Interactions feel tense. Tasks take longer. Even money flow slows, not because of fate, but because the very clothing wrapping your energy is dull, uncirculated, and energetically flat. And Feng Shui reminds us always, your outer environment is a mirror of your inner state. When both are dim, even the brightest intentions struggle to take root. The beautiful part is, the remedy is simple. Whenever possible, let your freshly washed clothes meet the morning. Even just 20-30 minutes of natural sunlight or light breeze can shift the frequency they hold. A clothesline near a window, a drying rack on a balcony, or even a temporary spot by a sunlit corner in your home can become a portal for transformation. If you live in an apartment without outdoor space, open windows during drying. Let the breeze kiss the fabric. Let light pass through. Think of it not just as drying, but as charging, like solar panels gathering chi. You don't need perfect conditions, just conscious ones. You'll begin to feel the shift, not only in how your clothes wear, but how you carry yourself through the day. Clothes that have met the morning feel different. They move with more ease, they sit on the skin with more softness, and most of all, they don't weigh you down with unseen heaviness. Over time, this small change restores something precious, your lightness of being. So pause for a moment and ask, where do your clothes rest after being washed? Do they face the sun, or do they hide from it? Because if the most refreshed part of your home never sees the light, perhaps it's not just your laundry that's drying in the dark, but your own energy waiting for a moment to rise again. Section 3. Not using salt to reset your clothes. You'd never guess that something as ordinary as salt, simple, silent, ancient, could hold the power to shift the entire energy of your wardrobe. But in Feng Shui, salt isn't just seasoning. It's purification in its rawest form. And when you do laundry without it, you may be cleansing stains but leaving behind something heavier. The energetic residue of every place you've been, every emotion you've worn, every moment your clothes have silently carried. Most people wash their clothes with detergent and fabric softener, trusting that fresh scent means true clean. They fold shirts that just came out of heavy meetings, uniforms worn through stress, or dresses worn to funerals, and put them back into drawers without ever considering the invisible weight these fabrics might still hold. Water lifts dirt, scent masks odor, but what resets the field? If you've never asked that, you're not alone. It's a quiet habit we've all inherited, cleaning without actually clearing. In Feng Shui, salt is tied to the earth element, stable, absorbent, grounding. Its granular form holds the ability to bind and extract stagnant chi from both space and object. That's why for centuries, salt has been placed in corners of homes to absorb bad energy, used to cleanse crystals, or sprinkled across thresholds after arguments or illness. When used in laundry, salt becomes a gentle force that draws out what no machine or soap can touch. The lingering emotions, the dense frequencies, the stress woven into the threads themselves. The consequence of skipping this ritual. You might feel it in ways you can't logically explain. You put on a shirt and suddenly feel agitated. You change into clothes you just washed, and your energy dips for no reason. You wear the same work pants every Monday and wonder why the week always begins with friction. This isn't superstition, it's sensitivity. In Feng Shui, your clothes are your mobile aura. When they hold old energy, they reintroduce it to your field each time you wear them. And just like stagnant air in a closed room, it begins to affect your thoughts, mood, and motivation over time. But the shift is easier than you think. The next time you wash clothes, especially those worn in stressful, emotional, or crowded environments, add 1 teaspoon of coarse sea salt or Himalayan pink salt directly to your wash water. Not refined white table salt, which has been stripped of its minerals, but raw salt with its energetic memory intact. If you use a washing machine, place the salt in a small cloth pouch and drop it in with the load. As the drum spins, the salt dissolves, not just physically but energetically, drawing out tension from each fiber like smoke clearing from a room. You won't smell it, you won't see it, but you'll feel it. Clothes washed with salt wear differently. They feel lighter on the skin. The fabric seems more breathable, more open. And more than that, your own body feels less resistant, less burdened, less prone to sudden dips in focus or emotion. It's not magic, it's memory being erased. And it's powerful, This isn't a ritual you need every time. Once a week is enough. Or any time you sense your energy needs a reset. If you've been in an argument, traveled through airports, attended a hospital, or just had a hard week, salt in the laundry becomes your silent ally. It doesn't ask you to believe, it asks you to notice. And once you notice the difference, it becomes a practice that's no longer optional but essential. So next time you open your closet, pause, ask yourself, what are these clothes still holding? Whose energy am I putting on today? Is this fabric just cloth, or is it memory-made material? Salt reminds us that even the smallest grains carry ancient wisdom. And sometimes the purest forms of protection are the ones hiding in your kitchen, waiting to cleanse what your eyes cannot see. Section 4. Using scent without intention. You might love how your laundry smells, but have you ever asked what that scent is actually saying to your energy? We're taught that fragrance means freshness, that a sweet aroma equals a clean life. But in Feng Shui, scent is more than perfume. It's frequency. It's silent programming. It doesn't just linger in the fabric, it imprints in your field. And when you use scent without awareness, without purpose, you may be layering your life with confusion, contradiction, or even stagnation, without realizing why. Picture this: you grab whatever fabric softener is on sale. Maybe it smells like vanilla, maybe ocean breeze, maybe something springy. You pour it in, press the start button, and move on. Later, you put on those clothes, inhale the scent, and instead of feeling focused, you feel scattered. Instead of calm, you feel flat. Or your body feels fine, but your emotions dip for no clear reason. What you're experiencing isn't physical. It's a mismatch between the energy your body needs and the vibration you've unknowingly invited in. In Feng Shui, scent is a subtle but powerful representation of the wood element, associated with the senses, emotional flow, growth, and direction. It travels invisibly but touches everything. It carries intention, whether you place it there or not. And when used properly, scent becomes a healing channel. But when used blindly, it becomes noise, emotional static, and your clothes. They hold that scent all day, whispering that frequency back to your body with every breath you take. The result? You might start the day with good plans but feel strangely unfocused. Or your confidence might subtly decline without explanation. Relationships may feel out of sync. Conversations feel fogged. It's not about the smell being bad. It's about it being unmatched to your energetic needs. Just like playing the wrong music in a sacred space can distort the atmosphere, wearing clothes soaked in the wrong scent can disrupt the frequency of your personal field. Over time, this leads to a quiet disconnection between intention and reality, between who you want to be and what your body is actually resonating with. But you can shift this, not by changing products, but by choosing with intention. Begin by asking yourself, what energy do I need right now? If your mind is racing and you crave grounding, reach for lavender, calming, restorative, aligned with inner peace. If you've been around negativity, use eucalyptus, cleansing, sharp, clearing the field like a forest after rain. If you need joy, creativity, or flow, turn to citrus oils, especially lemon or orange, which lift stagnant energy and brighten your emotional space. And for moments of mental focus, business meetings, new ideas, or deep clarity, add a few drops of rosemary for mental precision and strength. It's not about complexity. Just 3-5 drops of natural essential oil in your fabric softener tray, or diluted in a cup of water added to the rinse cycle is enough. You don't need more fragrance, you need more alignment. Because when the scent supports your state of mind, your entire energy begins to harmonize. Your body relaxes, your focus sharpens, The fabric against your skin becomes a silent ally, not just a shell. And every breath you take is not just air, it's gentle affirmation. So next time you press start on a load of laundry, pause. Ask not just does this smell nice, but does this speak to the frequency I want to live in today? Because your scent is your signal. And when your scent and spirit are aligned, you don't just walk through your day, you flow through it. What are your clothes whispering to you right now? And is that the energy you want surrounding your every breath? Section 5. Washing with stagnant water. You may not notice it, but if you've ever washed your clothes using water that has been sitting too long, you may be cleansing your fabric while dulling your own energy. We often trust what we see. The water looks clear, the clothes come out clean, and the detergent smells fresh. But in Feng Shui, what appears clean to the eye may carry hidden stagnation, and water that doesn't move can quietly hold onto what should have been released. It's a common habit, especially in homes where water is stored in tanks, basins, or is drawn from slow-moving systems. You fill your bucket with still water. You reuse water from a standing supply. Or you start your washing machine without letting the pipe run first. These seem like minor shortcuts, harmless choices. But when water hasn't flowed freely, when it's been confined, motionless, it loses its vitality. And in Feng Shui, water is never neutral. It's either carrying life or holding what's been left behind. Water is one of the most sacred elements in the 5 phases, or Wu Xing. It represents not just flow, but abundance, renewal, and movement of opportunity. When water flows, it mirrors the river of life. It carries away the old and nourishes the new. But when it sits, it grows heavy. Energetically, it becomes yin-dominant, introverted, slow, and emotionally dense. That's why in nature, stagnant water often breeds illness. And in your home, it doesn't breed bacteria, it breeds stuckness. That energy, invisible but potent, is transferred into the clothes you wash with it. Over time, you might feel like you're living in a loop, doing everything right but not moving forward. Your goals take longer. Your mood feels foggy. You wake up already tired, even though you slept. You may feel that no matter how much you clean your space, something feels off, like clarity isn't arriving. That's the subtle effect of energetic stagnation. Clothes which touch your skin every day act like carriers of memory. If they've been washed in water that holds no life, then they carry no lift. They sit against your body like silence where there should be breath. But this isn't about fear. It's about reconnecting to what water is meant to be, a moving partner in your energetic rhythm. The shift is remarkably simple. Just let the water run for a few seconds before you begin. If using a faucet or machine, allow the flow to clear the pipe. If using stored water, pour out a small amount to release what's been sitting and welcome the flow of something new. Even that small act changes the energetic texture. You're no longer washing with what's left, you're washing with what's arriving. This conscious gesture invites more than freshness. It symbolizes an inner agreement. I am no longer clinging to what's stale. And your space responds. Your thoughts feel clearer. Your home feels lighter. Your day flows differently, not because the water was cleaner, but because its kai was alive. And when your clothes dry, they don't just smell good. They feel fresh in a deeper, quieter way. So next time you touch water before doing laundry, pause. Listen to its sound, feel its temperature, and ask, is this water carrying movement or memory? Is it clearing or clinging? Because even the most beautiful river begins with a single, moving stream. And so does your energy. What kind of flow are you allowing into your life, through the very element meant to carry it all away? Section 6. Multitasking while doing laundry. You may think laundry is the perfect time to multitask, catch up on messages, skim through headlines, or even squeeze in a quick call while waiting for the spin cycle. But here's what most people never consider. What if your distracted mind is getting absorbed into your clothes, one rinse at a time? We assume that laundry is automatic. Just press a few buttons and walk away. But in Feng Shui, your energy doesn't just stay in your body. It flows into everything you do, especially the tasks you repeat with your hands. It's such a common scene. You're scrolling through social media as you load the machine, replying to stressful texts as you add detergent, listening to negative news while folding clothes. You think you're being efficient, but what you're actually doing is embedding scattered thoughts, low vibrations, and fragmented emotion into the very fabrics that will later wrap your body. Because in Feng Shui, energy is not just an outcome, it's a presence. And when you are absent, your energy becomes unstable, unanchored, weak. The process of laundry holds symbolic power in Feng Shui. It is a ritual of release and renewal, a moment when old energy from the body, from places you've walked, from moods you've carried, is literally rinsed out of your second skin. Water, motion, and scent combine to create a space for recalibration. But this only happens fully when your consciousness is part of the act. Otherwise, the process becomes hollow, a physical gesture with no energetic command. And the result? You may be left wearing clothes that look fresh but feel emotionally numb, dull, or strangely weighted. You may begin to notice small irritations in your day, heightened anxiety, low resilience in moments of stress. You may even feel like your intentions are constantly misaligned with your outcomes, as if life is responding to an energy you didn't consciously put out. This doesn't mean you must turn laundry into a complex ritual. The beauty lies in simplicity with presence. The next time you begin to wash clothes, slow down for just one breath. Feel the texture of the fabric in your hands. Listen to the sound of water filling the drum. Notice the scent of the soap and how it shifts the air around you. You don't need silence, but you do need awareness. Let your mind rest from everything else. Even just 5 minutes of mindful engagement turns laundry into an act of energetic alignment. In the 5 elements theory, this habit connects deeply with the earth element, the energy of grounding, support, and stability. When you multitask during earth-based actions like cleaning or caregiving, you disrupt your own sense of rootedness. The mind becomes scattered. The energy field becomes porous. And from that place, it's hard to manifest anything stable, whether that's abundance, clarity, or emotional balance. But once you restore presence, even the smallest task begins to glow with purpose. Your home feels more calm. You notice fewer mistakes in your day. Your clothes begin to carry a sense of gentleness, almost like they're holding space for you, not just covering you. And what you wore unconsciously before, you now wear as a container of intention. So ask yourself, when was the last time you gave your full attention to something that serves you every day? When did you last fold a shirt without rushing, or feel the warmth in a freshly dried towel with gratitude, not obligation? Because in Feng Shui, the energy you bring to a task is more important than the task itself. And in your most routine moments, your truest energy signature is being written into water, into fabric, into the invisible field that follows you everywhere you go. What would your clothes say about your presence if they could speak back? Section 7. Monday morning cleansing mistake. It seems harmless, even responsible. You wake up early on a Monday, motivated to start fresh and throw a load of laundry into the machine. A clean week should begin with clean clothes, right? But what if that very habit, washing your clothes on Monday morning, is quietly anchoring you to the sluggish energy of the weekend, making it harder for you to gain momentum, stay focused, or feel truly clear as the week unfolds. Most people associate Monday morning with productivity. It's the reset button of modern life, the signal to get back on track. But beneath the surface, Monday carries a different vibration. After 2 days of rest, disconnection, or emotional buildup, Monday morning is not fully awake yet. Not in body, not in mind, and certainly not in energy. It is a transition zone between the yin of the weekend and the emerging yang of the new cycle. And when you perform cleansing rituals like laundry during this delicate phase, you're not just clearing fabric. You're stirring up a field of energy that hasn't yet stabilized. In Feng Shui, the flow of qi is not measured by hours on a clock. It's felt through the resonance of rhythm. Monday morning holds what we call residual yin kai, a thick, slow-moving field of energy that has accumulated through stillness, emotional reflection, and internal processing over the weekend. In this phase, your energetic field is still adjusting, recalibrating. And when you engage in a cleansing act like laundry, you risk capturing and embedding this unstable energy into your clothes, and by extension, into your body, your workspace, your entire week. The consequences might not show up immediately, but they linger subtly. You may feel like you're doing all the right things, checking off your to-do list, showing up on time, drinking your coffee, but still something drags. Your mood feels foggy. Your motivation flickers. Conversations misfire. And the deeper current of your week flows with resistance instead of ease. Over time, this pattern can erode your sense of progress and personal power, as if you're stuck on the runway but never quite taking off. But there's a simple, powerful shift you can make. Rather than rushing into Monday with action, try beginning the week with alignment. Instead of laundry, spend the first hour gently recharging your personal energy field. Open your windows. Let sunlight move through the space. Do a few minutes of focused breathing, or sit in silence with your tea or coffee. Create internal movement before activating external tasks. Wait until later in the day, ideally after 10 a.m., or shift your laundry to Tuesday when the weekly energy has found its pace. In doing so, you allow your space, your mind, and your clothes to synchronize with the forward momentum of the week, not the emotional residue of the past. Laundry is not just a task, it's a symbol. It reflects your relationship with energy, time, and intention. And Monday morning, though tempting, is not a time for clearing, it is a time for grounding. Just like you wouldn't plant new seeds in frozen soil, you shouldn't pour cleansing rituals into a field that hasn't thawed from emotional stillness. Wait for the light to return. Wait for your own rhythm to awaken. So the next time Monday arrives, ask yourself gently, am I beginning from clarity or from compulsion? Am I honoring the slow return of my energy or rushing to override it? Because in Feng Shui, every act of cleaning is also a statement to the universe. What you wash when you wash it, and how you enter your week, they all shape the story your energy will carry into every hour that follows. What story do you want your clothes and your week to tell? Section 8. Washing emotional garments without reset. You might think a shirt is just a shirt, but what if the clothes you wear after heartbreak, stress, or grief still carry the emotional memory, no matter how many times you wash them? In Feng Shui, your garments are not just physical layers. They are energetic containers, holding everything from the sweat of your labor to the weight of your silence. And when you wash these emotionally charged pieces the same way you wash everyday clothing, you're missing the moment to truly reset. You're rinsing the fabric, yes, but not the feeling. Think about it. You've worn the same outfit to 3 intense meetings where tension hung in the air like smoke. Or it's the uniform you wore to a job that left you feeling drained. Maybe it's the black blouse from a funeral or the pajamas you lived in through days of sadness. These garments have been soaked in a particular vibration, a specific kind of kai. You wash them, fold them, wear them again, and wonder why you feel off, why your day starts heavy or your mood dips without reason. In Feng Shui, clothing is closely tied to your personal energy field, your Wei Qi, the subtle energetic barrier that shields, expresses, and extends from your body. Emotional garments, especially those worn during high stress, high sensitivity, or transitional moments, absorb dense vibrations and hold them in their fibers. And while water and detergent remove dirt, they don't always dissolve that deeper residue. You're essentially wrapping yourself over and over again in unprocessed memory. And over time, that memory begins to shape your thoughts, your emotional tone, even your interactions with others. The consequences show up quietly but consistently. You feel like you're off when wearing certain items. You struggle to move forward emotionally, even though you've processed things mentally. Your relationships carry unspoken tension. You may feel like you're attracting the same emotional patterns and can't understand why. In Feng Shui terms, you're living in a loop because your energetic garments are mirroring back a story you've already outgrown. But you can break that loop with presence, with intention, and with a very small act of energetic awareness. When you identify an emotional garment, something tied to a difficult moment or season, pause before tossing it into a normal load. Create space for its reset. Add a teaspoon of coarse sea salt to the wash. If possible, hang it under direct morning sunlight or in fresh moving air. These elements, earth, salt, fire, sunlight, and wind breeze, work together to release emotional tension and charge the clothing with new kai. If the garment still feels energetically dense, consider rinsing it separately, even by hand, while setting the intention. I release what this piece has held. I keep the lesson, not the weight. Some clothes may be harder to reset, and that's okay. Not everything is meant to stay in your life forever, not even in your closet. If a piece feels too burdened with old energy, if it stirs discomfort every time you see it, that may be your invitation to let it go. Donate it with gratitude, burn a strand as symbolic closure, or repurpose it into something new. Energy, like emotion, needs release. Otherwise, it settles into places we forget to look. So the next time you wash something that has lived through strong emotion, ask yourself, am I ready to free this fabric of its story? Or am I folding grief back into my dresser, hoping it fades with time? Your clothing is not just cloth, it's memory made wearable. And you deserve to walk into each day dressed in clarity, not carried by old echoes. What would change in your life if your clothes no longer whispered who you used to be, but instead reflected the energy of who you're becoming? Section 9. Ignoring your laundry area setup. We often treat the laundry area as an afterthought, a corner tucked behind a door, squeezed into a hallway, or buried in a dark utility space. But here's the surprising truth. Your laundry space is one of the most energetically active zones in your home. It deals with what you shed, what you renew, and what you wear back into the world. And when this space is neglected, cramped, or poorly designed, it doesn't just affect how clean your clothes feel. It disrupts how freely energy moves through your home and your life. It's a common mistake. You store dirty baskets in dim corners, pile detergents on top of the machine, let dust gather under hoses and behind units. Light is often minimal, ventilation poor, and the atmosphere more functional than intentional. Most people never question it. It's just laundry, they say. But in Feng Shui, the layout and feeling of any space define its Kai expression. And when that Kai is blocked, cluttered, or stagnant, it seeps into the objects processed there, including your clothes. Let's look deeper through the Feng Shui lens. The laundry area represents the transitional zone of the metal and water elements. It's where form, metal, clothes, structure, systems, meets purification, water, washing, flowing, dissolving. If the space is too dry, too dusty, or too isolated, metal becomes excessive, creating rigidity, coldness, and emotional withdrawal. If the space is too damp, dark, or chaotic, water becomes uncontained, spilling into your emotional field as overwhelm, fatigue, or confusion. Balance matters, and that balance begins with design, how the space feels, breathes, and supports flow. The consequences of an unbalanced laundry space may show up subtly. You may feel heavy when doing laundry. You may delay it or feel overwhelmed just by entering the space. You may fold clean clothes but still feel mentally cluttered. Or you might notice a lack of rhythm in your week. Laundry never seems to finish. Baskets pile up again as soon as they're emptied. This isn't just about time management. It's about a space that isn't designed to release energy well. And when energy doesn't release, it recirculates, affecting your thoughts, your family interactions, even your financial focus. The shift begins not with a renovation, but with attention. First, clear visual clutter. Remove empty bottles, unused baskets, or broken hangers. Wipe down machines and sweep the floor regularly. Open a window if there is one, or place a small fan to invite air movement. Add a touch of warmth to soften the cold mechanical tone. A bamboo mat, a ceramic jar for laundry pods, or even a small plant nearby. Choose something resilient, like snake plant or pothos. If natural light is absent, use soft white lighting instead of harsh fluorescence. Light in Feng Shui always activates clarity. You might even hang a calming quote or intentional word near your folding station. Release, renew, flow. These touches may seem simple, but they signal something powerful. You're respecting the space where energy is transformed. And when your environment mirrors that respect, your inner rhythm follows. Laundry becomes less of a burden and more of a quiet ritual, a moment where you don't just clean fabric but reset your presence. So the next time you step into your laundry corner, pause and ask, does this space invite movement or trap it? Does it whisper flow or echo forgotten? Because even the most humble area of your home holds power. And when energy is allowed to move freely, even through a space filled with baskets and soap, your life begins to feel lighter, clearer, and more supported from the inside out. Section 10. Treating laundry as only a chore. We tend to treat laundry like background noise, something we squeeze between errands, fit into lunch breaks, or half focus on while juggling a dozen other things. But here's the quiet truth no one talks about. What if the way you do your laundry reflects the way you care for your own energy? In Feng Shui, every repetitive habit is an energy statement. And when we rush through the act of cleaning our clothes as if it's meaningless, we unintentionally teach our inner world that care is optional, and that presence can wait. It's a scene you've lived through 100 times. You load the machine with one hand while answering emails with the other. You fold clothes while scrolling through social media, checking the news, or half watching a screen. You throw socks into drawers like it's a race. And all the while you think, at least it's done. But what if done isn't enough? What if your energy field, your emotional tone, your sense of clarity is shaped not just by what you complete, but by how you move through the ordinary? Feng Shui sees laundry as a purification ritual, an intimate moment where the energy of your week, your body, and your spaces is being rinsed, reset, and reabsorbed. Water, the cleansing element; metal, the machine's structure; earth, the grounding quality of textiles; and wind, air drying, or circulation all play roles. But none of them are truly activated without the human spirit at the center. When you move through this ritual absent-mindedly, you leave behind more than lint. You leave your energy fragmented, dulled, or disconnected. The clothes get cleaned, yes, but the field around you stays cloudy. The effects of this can be subtle yet persistent. You may feel chronically scattered. Relationships feel a little more tense. Work feels heavier than it should. You wear freshly washed clothes but still feel unmotivated, emotionally muted, or overstimulated. And you may find yourself caught in a loop of output, doing more, completing more, finishing more, yet feeling strangely unreplenished. That's because your rituals have lost their ritual. But here's the beautiful truth. You don't need incense, silence, or spiritual music to reclaim this moment. You only need presence. The next time you wash clothes, slow down. Take one conscious breath before you begin. Choose your scent with intention. Notice the texture of the fabric, the way it folds, the weight of what you're releasing. Let the sound of the machine be a reminder that you're not just cleaning garments. You're resetting the field around your body. And when you fold, do it slowly. Not perfectly, just attentively. You might say a simple word with each fold: lightness, strength, ease, clarity. These words, silently paired with motion, ripple out into your space like small waves of harmony. Over time, this practice doesn't just clean your clothes, it cleans your mind. Your mornings feel more supported. Your schedule becomes less chaotic. Even conflict in your home softens, because you've taught your energy to move from presence, not pressure. So take a quiet moment and ask yourself, when was the last time you did laundry with intention? When did it feel like care, not just obligation? Because in Feng Shui, your external rhythms mirror your internal landscape. And laundry, that humble chore, might just be one of the clearest mirrors of how you meet your life. Are you folding your clothes? Or are you folding your breath, your awareness, your joy into the corners of your week, one quiet moment at a time? This wasn't just a conversation about laundry. It was a quiet unfolding, a reminder that the way we cleanse the fabric outside us often reveals how gently or how carelessly we tend to the energy within. Because in truth, laundry is never only about clothes. It's about memory, rhythm, presence, and how we carry ourselves through the unseen layers of life. Each habit we explored, the timing, the water, the space, the scent, the mindset, was never just a tip, but an invitation to remember that energy is not something distant. It lives in the way you fold, the way you breathe, the way you choose not to rush. When we treat laundry as just another task, we miss the gateway it offers, the chance to pause, to reset, to come back into sync with the slow wisdom of our own lives. And perhaps, in seeing it differently, you begin to see yourself differently too. Not as someone merely trying to manage a home, but as someone quietly shaping the energy that flows through every corner of it. So maybe now is the moment to walk into your laundry space with new eyes. Not to clean harder, but to sense deeper. Not to do more, but to be more present in the doing. Because what if the most ordinary acts in your life are actually the most sacred? And what if the energy you seek has been waiting in the silence of these small rituals all along?